Pacific leaders have issued a new declaration on climate change after a rare meeting with the UN Secretary-General in Fiji. They say climate change is an unprecedented global catastrophe and developed nations need to take transformative action. Australian officials sat on the sidelines of the meeting because of the federal election and were left fuming after one Pacific leader suggested the coalition should lose the election because of its climate change policies. Stephen Jedgetts reports from Suva.
On climate change, the Pacific speaks with one voice. And today, a visitor from New York joined the chorus. Antonio Guterres sat down with Pacific leaders who fear a future of rising seas and ferocious storms.
We are determined to address the challenge of climate change, but it's not only the Pacific that is at stake.
They want developed nations like Australia to phase out coal power plants and dramatically cut emissions.
This part of the world has not contributed to this. But they're the ones that are going to suffer because of it.
But that stands in stark contrast to what Australia's willing to do right now. And with a federal election looming, Australian officials were put in an awkward position, attending only as observers under caretaker conventions.
The leaders didn't directly criticise Australia during the meeting, but Pacific officials in the room say the comments calling for greater action on climate change were directed firmly at Canberra. Australia's been debating climate change policy now for a decade, and the Pacific is growing impatient.
The Secretary-General wouldn't be drawn into the fray.
Foreigners should never get involved in electoral debates of a country.
But others were happy to wade in, with one leader indicating he'd like the coalition tipped out of office because of its climate policies.
The question would be answered by the voters themselves. And let us just keep our fingers crossed.
Not very diplomatic. Stephen Jedgetts, ABC News, Suva.